welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here. So look, we are going to be getting into all things RHOC under the Bravo verse. And what we're going to be really touching base on is some of the things that have been going on off camera, not just so much focusing on camera. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you would probably have seen that I had actually started recapping and reviewing the current season of Real Housewives of Orange County. And I think I recapped about the first 3 or 4 episodes. So that is on the platform as well. Unfortunately, I didn't continue to keep going with the recap and reviewing, but I have been definitely watching because there has been so much going on with these ladies, from the contentiousness between what's her name? Shannon and Alexis Bellino over John Jansen, and just all the nonsense of that. And of course, Tamra Judge and her continued berating of Shannon throughout the entire season. And then Emily and her issues that she's having with her insecurities. And then on the flip side, though, she's able to kind of bring it back together and bring us some humor and light to the season. So if you have been actually watching this current season, let me know down below and tell me what you thought of it and how you feel it's going. Right now, it is currently in their reunion bag. So we had just saw reunion part 2 last week, and reunion part 3 is going to be on, I believe, this Thursday. So this week. And I believe it's only 3 parts for this reunion. I don't think they have a 4-part on this one. So this should be kind of wrapping up the season. And truth be told, I am really living for the reunion, to be honest with you. I think the reunion is really getting in there, and Shannon's getting every opportunity she can to get her digs in wherever she needs to. And yeah, so it's been real quite interesting to see. This was definitely the season for Shannon, because it's been all about Shannon, to be honest with you, from her DUI to the John Hansen lawsuit and the Alexis situation. It's really been a lot of focus on Shannon and really how she's able to move forward with these situations and be able to still keep a cool head about herself. She also had a milestone birthday during this season, turning 60. So congratulations to her for that. And, unfortunately, the trip that they took to England didn't end off with a bang that she was hoping for. And really, she dealt with a lot of arguing pretty much day after day after day on that trip. So it seemed slightly miserable to me, other than when her daughters actually were able to come down on the train from France and visit with her for a day. And so luckily she had that wonderful memory to attach to this trip, because the rest of the trip was pretty much crap. So yeah, so for this video, we're going to, again, like I said, diving into all things RHOC, a lot of heavy rotation and focus on outside of the cameras, meaning that we're going to be discussing, apparently Tamra Judge was trying to get a radio host fired over some Alexis Bellino comments. So we'll get into that. Also, I don't know if you heard, but apparently Tamra had also shared that she apparently has an autism reveal for herself, since she's been going through therapy, and she discovered that. And apparently there's a little bit of backlash in regards to maybe how she came about sharing that story. If maybe some, I think, were wondering if it was just for storyline. And so she apparently had to come out with an apology. So we'll get into that and find out what this apology is about, and for what reason why she felt the need to do that. Now, one thing I will say about Tamra, I'm sure, for most people, she brings a spice to the franchise. But one thing about Tamra, she's always been a mean girl. I mean, I don't find too many episodes or seasons, to boot, that would show otherwise. I know she had a moment where she was supposed to be, reestablishing her relationship with God. And so the situations associated with that and her journey with that lasted about a half a season or a season and a half or something to that effect. And then she slowly started grinding back into her old self. So, I can see how some people would feel that maybe this is just something else to have a storyline for. And, autism and any type of situation that an individual may have is not something to joke with, not something to be laughed at, not something to be used as a punchline of any sort. So I can understand why people may feel, because of some of the things that they have seen on the seasons with Tamra that is this really for real, or is she just saying this to kind of excuse some of her behavior? So I know we'll get a little bit more into that. Tamra has, I believe, dipped her toe a little bit into it on the reunion. We may get more in the part 3 of explanation associated with that. So I will definitely be tuning in on that as well. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into that. Also, one of her, I would say, really is more not even so much a frenemy anymore. I think they really are a nemesis. Her and her good friend Jen, who she actually brought on the show a couple seasons ago, which is astonishing to me. You know, she brought her on the show. They seem really cool, and now they fight all the time. And you know, Tamra has made no secret that she does not care for her boyfriend, now fiance Ryan, and she's had a lot of things to say that have been very negative and very damaging to his character. And so, therefore, there's been that contentious fight between Jen and Tamra. Now, Jen has been one, if you've been watching, a person to kind of like roll with the punches. I'm really trying to come from a place of understanding where you're coming from versus reacting to what's being said. And let me tell you, she's been dragged quite a bit between Gina and the whole house situation, Tamra and Ryan's situation, her whole ex situation. You know, she's been through it as well, but she's always managed to keep herself kind of intact. But also, it always felt like she was kind of a deer in headlights, because I don't think she expected to have this amount of vitriol, especially from someone that she called a friend, that being Tamra. So at this point in this season, if you've been watching it, you saw Jen said, "That is it. I am done with the foolishness that Tamra brings to the show and that Tamra brings to my life." You know, we got to see that Tamra actually apparently was showing that she had maybe did a background check on Ryan. So that was like the last straw for Jen. She had had enough with the whole situation. So we got to see that explosion take place on a couple of episodes ago, actually, or maybe 2-3 episodes ago, right before the season finale. And then now we're speaking about it a lot in part 1 of the reunion. I'm sure we'll speak about it a little bit more in part 2. And then obviously part 3 will probably get a little bit of a wrap up as well, and maybe see exactly where the ladies are at this point, as they normally do. So we've got that also to take care of, to find out a little bit more about. And I think that's going to be about all the areas that we're going to cover in this video. So let's go ahead and get on with the first sharing. Oh, Tamra, I tell you. So now, according to Monsters and Critics, it shares that RHOC's Tamra Judge was dragged for trying to get a radio host fired for Alexis Bellino comments. Now, Tamra Judge has been going hard for her new bestie, Alexis Bellino, but did she take things too far? The Real Housewives of Orange County star is getting dragged on social media after a radio host, Kiki Monique, whose boss is Andy Cohen, claimed that Tamra tried to get her fired. Now, the blonde beauty wasn't happy about the comments that were made about Alexis, so she called Andy to complain. Kiki told the story while chatting with Vanderpump Rules star Sheena Shea on a recent episode of her podcast. After the clip was posted online, people took to the comments to trash the RHOC star. Now, Tamra's former friend Vicki Gunvalson also commented on the story, noting that she wasn't surprised at her behavior. Now, Radio Andy host says Tamra Judge tried to get her fired over comments over the Alexis Bellino comments. Well, Kiki Monique, host of the Reality Checked on Radio Andy and another show called The Talk of Shame, was a guest on Shenanigans, and she had an interesting story about Tamra Judge. I turned my phone on and I'm seeing these DMs come in from Tamra, and she was like, "Were you just hosting Radio Andy?" said Kiki, who noted that she wasn't the culprit since she was at the Tom Girardi trial at the time. She said, "Were you hosting when someone called in and called Alexis we'll just call her Lady of the Night, and said that I was a piece of, well, you know, sugar honey on iced tea?" She further says, "I was so mad I contacted Andy." What? Are you trying to get us fired from our jobs? Kiki exclaimed. Well, adding that she told Tamra, "If I piss you off, can you come to me first without trying to get me fired? Because I really need my job." Now, RHOC fans, after finding out about this, dragged Tamra on social media. So if you actually, tuned into these podcasts and heard this, feel free to share your thoughts down respectfully below the comment section. I would love to know what you were thinking on this. Now, it further says that RHOC fans were outraged at Tamra's behavior, and after Sheena posted the clip on Instagram, they took to the comments. "Typical Tamra," wrote Vicki Gunvalson. Meanwhile, Kiki's co-worker, who was hosting the show that day, also chimed in and laughed at Tamra's petty behavior. "Haha, I was hosting RC that day," she confessed. "We had a bunch of people call in to say how vile she was. I heard she tattled to Andy, but I'm still gainfully employed. Hashtag Ken's Day, hashtag reality checked. Now, someone exclaimed, it's very rich that Tamra is calling Andy to complain about things this chick allegedly said, but has had seasons of her podcast talking sugar honey on iced tea on everyone. And mind you, it wasn't just, it was very rich about Tamra. It was very rich that TAMRA'S, which, the rat, yeah, I see what they did with that. Now, a commenter reasoned, it's radio, a talk show with callers who give opinions. Has Tamra lost it? Another added, I truly can't stand the Tamra we see on TV. She might be a different person off screen, but I don't see that, nor do I hear what a great person she is. So yeah, not a fan of hers. So now my question to you, and also was provided for us in this article, are you shocked about Tamra's behavior? Now, I will say this. I am slightly shocked, and then I'm not shocked. Here's the reason why I am shocked. I am shocked because I really still am confused about how her and Alexis are even friends at this point. Now, we all know famously that Tamra and Shannon were both sued by Alexis's first husband, Jim, right? Because of slanderous, I think, and defamation and some things of that sort. So that's just been sorted out. Well, that right there would be enough to cause a lot of friction between the ladies, naturally. Now, before these comments and defamation suits and stuff was piled on, before that, Tamra and Alexis really were oil and water. They truly could not stand each other. I don't remember exactly what the reason was. Maybe, Tamra didn't feel that she was worth her weight, her being Alexis and being able to be on the show, because Alexis was a bit of a different kind of person back at that time when she was married to Jim. And, they just clashed every chance. They famously had one of the episodes in one of the seasons when Alexis came back, where they had some type of a lunch party in a nice little facility, nice table full of people. And Alexis said something, Tamra literally threw her out of the event. And I mean, we're talking like episode 2 or 3 into that season. And so it looked like it was a triumphant return for Alexis, but I want to say it was cut short from the season because of it. So it really perplexed me when it came out and said, hey, look, we're all friends and everything's all good and bygones are now bygones. And I don't know if I'm truly buying it, but hey, Tamra seems to be sticking to her guns that they are really cool. And so is Alexis. So I guess time will tell, and we'll see how this all wraps up. Now, apparently they had been got together in, I want to say 2023's BravoCon, and that's when they had whatever quick conversation they had, and then came to the point that, yeah, they were going to, I guess, forgive and forget and move forward. But, that wasn't so much so for Alexis and Shannon, right? And of course, Alexis just seems like she's infiltrating every bit of Shannon's life at this point, with the dog that looks like hers and with the man that definitely was hers. And I don't know, but at the end of the day, it just seems like a whole lot of stuff going on in that camp. So I would love to know your thoughts on that. Are you surprised that Tamra would try to rat out somebody as it's shared in the article? And, and if, was she right to do so? I mean, at the end of the day, one of the commenters is right. Tamra spends a lot of time talking crap about a lot of people. So I am kind of surprised that she didn't roll with the punches on that herself. But I guess, we'll see more on that if more is to come from that. But at least the ladies are not been removed from their jobs. And I think that's always a good thing. So let's go ahead and move on to our next sharing. And it looks like we are going to be getting into the situation with Jen and Tamra, because Jen said enough is a freak enough. So yeah, finally standing up for herself in a real way. So according to people.com, RHOC's Jen Pedranti explodes on Tamra amid accusations she got a background check on boyfriend Ryan. She is trash. This is what Jen shares. Now, though Jen was livid about the alleged background check that took place, Tamra Judge denied those claims and insisted she never hired a private investigator or paid for a background check on Ryan. Now, Jen is letting Tamra know how she really feels. Now, on the October 17th episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Shannon Bedore took it upon herself to share text messages that Tamra had allegedly sent her about Jen's boyfriend, Ryan. Now, holding up a screenshot, Shannon had claimed that Tamra had done some digging into Ryan's past. I think it's important that Jen understands how Tamra works behind everyone's back, Shannon alleged. Before telling Jen, someone sent Tamra some stuff about Ryan, and then she said, I'm asking my friend's husband if he can go do a background check. And then she texted me evidence of the background check. What the heck is wrong with her? Jen reacted as she said another word, but we're going to clean it up a little bit. Now, she was clearly shocked, and I saw the episode. If you did, you probably would say the same. Now, when Shannon remarked that Tamra shouldn't stoop to this level, Jen grew more upset. It's almost like weird and obsessive, she said later, telling the cameras. Tamra just has no soul. She has to use all of our lives to make hers relevant because when you look at her life, it's just boring. Now, when Gina agreed, claiming Tamra was constantly talking behind people's backs, Jen stood up and decided she was going to confront Tamra. I'm such a better person than her, she shouted. I'd rather have my little freaking bank account and my kids who love me and a man who supports me than being low level, freaking bull talker like her. Okay, hope I did that well. She thinks she's gonna come in and freaking ruin my family. She is trash, literally freaking trash. Now, as she stormed across the hall and into Tamra's room, Jen looked at Tamra in the eye and asked why she did a background check for Ryan. No, I didn't, Tamra replied. Show it to me. So now Jen, however, wasn't going to stand for Tamra's denial, and boy, did she not. You don't get to do this stuff to me anymore, she yelled as Tamra began to laugh and clap. You're throwing around the FBI. You're throwing around all this stuff, Tamra. Freak you. Now, when Heather Dubrow told Jen to let Tamra talk, Jen refused, claiming Tamra already knew what she did wrong. This was 2 years ago, and it wasn't a background check, Tamra then admitted. I've never paid for a background check in my life. Now, you know what, Tamra? You take accountability, Jen said. You take accountability for the damage you caused. You take accountability for the people you've hurt. You take accountability for your actions. Tamra went on to insist she just asked a friend in real estate to check if Ryan was a licensed mortgage broker, as Jen insisted he was. Now, that isn't a background check, Tamra pointed out. Why do you care? Jen then questioned, explaining she doesn't dig into what Tamra's husband Eddie does for a living. You're using your voice. I'm so happy for you, Tamra snapped back. You don't want to listen. You just want to yell. I didn't even know Jen could speak that loudly, Heather later added. It was kind of impressive. I would have to agree. Now, still, Jen continued to tell Tamra she had allegedly seen proof that she used the phrase background check. When you back Tamra in a corner, she doesn't even know what to do, Jen said in her confessional. She's like a feral cat. Why don't you own up to the bull that you cause in people's lives? Why don't you ever say, I'm sorry, and I mean it? Why don't you listen? Learn to be an effing friend. Now, Tamra maintained that she didn't do what Jen was accusing her of, saying she never hired a private investigator or paid for a background check. Now, Shannon is the one trying to rile her up, Tamra claimed. But if she's going to stick Jen on me, you might want to send someone with half a brain. Your obsession is weird. It's freaking weird, Jen yelled at Tamra once again before walking toward the exit of the room. You need to freaking grow up and leave my freaking family alone. I just moved into the man's house, she continued. My freaking kids are with me and good and happy. Leave me the freak alone. I want no part of your freaking bull nonsense. You attack everyone. Bye, Tamra said, waving. Now, as she left, Jen declared, I'm a better freaking person than you will ever be. Tamra, you're fucking, you're freaking, you know what? Yeah, the thing that you call female dog. Now, The Real Housewives of Orange County airs Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. The Pacific time is for 3 hours before that on Bravo. Check your local listings. Woo, I hope I did that well. I mean, my goodness, it was really a profanity-laced fight. So we didn't want to go through all of those words, but I think you got the gist of what was going on there. But yeah, she was so upset, so upset. And, at the end of the day, it was just one of those things that, you keep on poking the bear. You keep on poking the bear. And when you keep poking the bear, sometimes you're going to get what? The claws, right? It's just like if you poke the bull, as they say, you get the horn. So, I do say that Tamra was extremely shocked. And it's one of those things that, when a bully keeps coming at you, once you kind of put that bully up in a corner, they don't know what to do because now you're reacting to them and you're not taking their stuff anymore. And, Jen has been a little bit passive when it comes to the relationship with Tamra because I really do feel sincerely that she thought she had a real friendship with Tamra. And I just don't think that, that's really precipitated or reciprocated. I think it's reciprocated for Jen from Tamra. I just feel like, yeah, she's not really in a position where she allows her to really be a good friend to her. So, yeah, she'd had enough, and that was that. So, let's go ahead and get into our next sharing because it appears that, well, Ryan definitely has her, or yes, his ladies back. So let's go ahead and get into that. All right. So now, according to Monsters and Critics, Ryan reacts to Jennifer taking down Tamra Judge on RHOC. It was about time. Now, Jennifer clocked in big time during this past week's episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County when she went up against Tamra Judge in one of the biggest blow-ups of the season. Now, Jennifer has made a conscious effort to nurture her relationship with Tamra all season long because they've been so at odds in the past. Now, during her recent seasons on the show, Tamra has made it her mission to go after her co-stars, and it hasn't been a good look. Earlier this season, she talked about FBI rumors surrounding Jennifer's fiance, Ryan, despite her having zero facts. Now, as a result, Ryan had a massive argument with Tamra during a cast dinner. Ultimately, Tamra stormed off because some of the ladies did not take her side in the argument. Now, Jennifer has played very nice with Tamra, but that all changed when she learned that Tamra had contacted Shannon Bedore in 2022 to let her know she was having a friend run a background check on Ryan. The invasion of privacy sent Jennifer into a tailspin. Now, Tamra initially claimed she didn't do the background check. So we'll go ahead and get into this bit of the sharing. So we might get a little bit of extra details in regard to what we kind of just covered already. Now, as expected, Tamra had backed down after initially claiming that Jennifer had it all wrong, but the damage was done. Jennifer read her for filth before storming out of the hotel room. Now, of course, viewers had many thoughts about the drama because it's a rarity that Tamra's called out for her behavior because she somehow manages to deflect to get away from these situations. Now, Jennifer took to Instagram on Friday to reveal that she and Ryan were getting manicures and pedicures and asked her followers what they thought of the episode. Now, Ryan wasted no time dragging Tamra, which didn't impress Jennifer very much. Still, they could both agree that it was about time Jennifer hit back at her enemy. Now, Tamra has continually trashed Jennifer. Jennifer has shown such restraint throughout her 2 seasons as a cast member, but the gloves were off when she heard about Tamra digging into Ryan's past. In the Instagram videos, Jennifer had acknowledged that she and Tamra had a real friendship for a long time, but she had to step away after recent events. There's still one big argument between Jennifer and Tamra to come, which will air during the final episodes of the season. So a lot of it became more in place if you had been watching the last couple seasons, or last couple episodes, of the season, which led into the season finale. Basically Jen was just toe to toe with her at every chance she got. Anything that was brought up that was in regards to Ryan, even outside of the background check, Jen was not hearing it. So she let Tamra know right off of the bat at the table, she ain't the one, the two, or the three. And, of course, Tamra in her, normal way, try to play with it. He's going to do something to me kind of thing. It was kind of a lazy throwaway comment at the end of the day because she really didn't have much to say. And she really felt the need to obviously defend herself. But the bottom line is Jennifer owned her on that table. She's owned her for the last 3 episodes or so. And she's continued to owning her in the reunion episodes as well. So we'll see what part 3 brings to us. But anyways, now the mid-season trailer, if you saw it, had showcased Jennifer telling Tamra to stop talking about her man, only for Tamra to go low and hit back with the following. Is he going to, as I said, is he going to put a hit out on me? Now, Tamra's insults are despicable, but something tells us she'll apologize to everyone at the upcoming reunion, and which in fact she did. Now, the season-ending event was recently filmed, and we're not quite sure how to or what to expect because Tamra has been on the warpath all season long. Now, of course, again, The Real Housewives of Orange County airs on Bravo's on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Stream your seasons 1 through 18, on Peacock. Definitely check your local. So like I said, Ryan said, look here, this is my girl and I am going to defend her for the ends of the earth. And at the end of the day, whatever was being said about him is definitely character assassination. It really is a situation where at the end of the day, if these types of things continue to keep happening, it won't look too good from whoever he may work with in his businesses. So at the end of the day, I believe that Ryan had said that whatever the situation was going on, because he was going to watch What Happens Live, I want to say the week after this episode, or maybe the night of that, I'm not sure. But he basically had said, look, I'm clear of all anything of that situation. This had nothing to do with him. I guess he had made some jokes that were maybe some people felt a little uncomfortable about the situation actually on the show, but he cleared it up that there's no issues. They're good to go and they're moving on because they are now engaged. And wonderful. So Jen at this point, or not Jen, Tamara at this point at the reunion did have to make an apology because, at the end of the day, she spoke out of turn and really shouldn't have kept digging in as much as she did without really any proof or facts of anything to actually show for what she was saying. So yeah, sometimes, you got to watch those rumors, right? At the end of the day, rumors are just that, they're rumors. And unless you've got real proof to show this is what happened, it's gonna be a little bit hard to believe you. Your credibility is shot, and her credibility, I think, in my opinion, anyways, is pretty much been shot quite a bit throughout this season. And she has been on the warpath. Quite frankly, she's been going after one person after another: Shannon and Jen, Shannon and Jen, Shannon and Jen. So it's been a bit unpleasant at times to watch, but we'll see how things wrap up. But right now, it looks like Jen is definitely got points above her right now, and she's going for the win for the season. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the next sharing. And this is apparently Tamara having to give an apology for sharing that she may be on the spectrum when it comes to autism. So let's go ahead and quickly run through that sharing and find out what really is going on. Now, according to TV shows ace.com, Tamara Judge apologizes for controversial autism reveal. Now, RHOC's Tamra Judge recently revealed that she is on the spectrum. While it was a diagnosis that made her emotional to share, it quickly turned into a reveal gone wrong. Fans are livid, and now the housewife is speaking out. So we're going to go ahead and read on to find out what exactly happened. Now, RHOC Tamra Judge issues an apology. The situation all started when Tamra made an appearance on her Two Teeth in a Pod podcast with Teddy Mellencamp. It was during one of their many episodes that she revealed that she was on the spectrum. She said that she found it out during her therapy session. Now, based on the timing of her reveal, considering it was amidst all of the drama she's currently involved in, Judge was instantly criticized. Most believe that she is using her diagnosis to garner compassion. Others are convinced that Tamara is using it for potential RHOC storyline to get her to 20 seasons. Now, after all the backlash from her autism discussion, she quickly returned to the podcast and issued an apology to the world. Now, she says, at the end of the day, I feel really horrible. I feel beat down, she shared. I wasn't trying to insult or minimize or get sympathy or any of that, so I apologize. Now, autism representation with Judge reveal and more. Now, Tamara isn't the first housewife to announce that she is on the spectrum. However, she's not the only person in the Bravo universe that has had the same diagnosis. Apparently, former RHO SLC star Angie Harrington revealed that her son Hart has autism back in 2023. Taking care of him as well as being there for her other children was the reason for her show departure. Okay. Now, RHONJ housewife Jacqueline Larita also announced that one of her sons has autism. She shared his diagnosis back in 2012. And if you did watch RHONJ at the time when Jackie was actually on the show, you would definitely have got to see a lot of information that she shared about his condition, the things that, triumphs as well as the highs of what they were experiencing through that journey. She also did different types of programs to raise money for the cause itself and just really getting the word out and definitely getting out that information to people, and not only for them to just be informed about the situation when it comes to this diagnosis, but also so for those who did not feel alone, right? For those to be able to see the trials and tribulations as well as the successes in that journey and be able to relate. And so I thought it was such a powerful thing for Jacqueline to share. And I know for one, appreciate that she did that, took the time to use the platform for that, getting that awareness out, because I always feel that it's so important. If you have a platform and you have things that you can share to be helpful to people, go ahead and do it. All right. There's always room for the messy mess and the petty, but sometimes we have to take a break from that and depart from that and look at things that are happening in real life. Right. We can't escape all the time as much as we would like to, but the fact that she took the opportunity and she did a marvelous job, I felt, in sharing, the journey for her son. And from what I have seen over the years, checking in from time to time, that he seems to be doing really well. So I continue to wish them the best of luck as well. So, it's just unfortunate for Tamra, revealing the situation, which could have gone so much better in the realm of understanding. It gets lumped in with her behavior. So, I guess we'll hear more about that connection if she chooses to continue to talk about it. So now she has gone to take a backseat from Bravo and now co-owns an organization devoted to advocating for parents of kids who are on the spectrum. And that's Jacqueline. That's what she's done since the time that she had on RHONJ, which secretly I wish she would return. I love a few of those OGs, and she was one of them. And yeah, so I would have loved for her to come back. I think she's in Vegas now, and I don't think she has any intention of necessarily coming back. But we can always dream. Now, the Real Housewives of Orange County have fans forgiven Tamra. So here's the question on the docket. So let's get into that. Now, Tamra might have thought that she did the right thing by apologizing. After all, her reveal did garner a ton of backlash, and this was a way to address it. However, it might have made the situation even worse. So most RHOC fans don't believe that the reality TV star actually meant it when she said sorry for the situation. Now, in a Reddit thread, fans had dragged the housewife for her lackluster apology. Here are a few of the comments. One says that she gets worse with every word that spews from her lying mouth. Second says she sounds so fake and disingenuous. And the third says it sounded like she was being forced to apologize. Now, the question on the table here from this sharing, and I ask of you as well, do you think that Tamra's apology was genuine? If you heard it, did you think it was genuine? From the sharing, do you think it was genuine? And I'll go back and read that portion again, so that way you have that right up on the noggin. And also, should Tamra judge further address the situation or just hope all of the backlash dies down? Let us all know, of course, of your comments in that comment section below. So let's go back to what the apology was. She basically says, at the end of the day, I feel horrible. I feel beat down. I wasn't trying to insult or minimize or get sympathy or any of that. So I do apologize. So that's basically it for that. Definitely let me know your thoughts. Do you think that people are maybe going a little too hard on Tamra, or do you think it's, kind of one of those consequential things when you act the way you do? Is it possible that, she will do more of a tie-in? Because I kind of feel like when she was going through her therapy sessions and coming to this revelation, that it may even be a linchpin kind of reasoning for maybe why she acts in certain ways. And I feel like there was going to possibly be a tie-in to that. So will she continue to move forward in that venue, or will she realize that maybe this is not the best route to go for this situation, because maybe people are just simply not hearing it? So it really is unfortunate, because again, here is a huge platform. Tamra is a huge personality. And if maybe she was maybe not so disliked for the behavior that she tends to put out, maybe this could have been a different conversation indeed. Because again, being a woman of her age, discovering that she has autism would have been a really great way to provide information and sharing about people who may find out later in life that they have this diagnosis and how they tend to cope with that diagnosis. What are the things that could be helpful if you yourself, as an adult in the age range that she is finding out about hers, or just an adult period with no real understanding of certain things, but maybe felt like something wasn't maybe all the way, one way or another, and you then find out later on that this is a diagnosis that you were on the spectrum. And this could have been such a helpful way of providing information. And so I fear that because of the behavior and the attitudes, that chance is possibly lost. Now, does she have an opportunity to kind of, revamp that and really speak on it? Maybe the reunion is the place that she could do that. If that information, coincided with the reunion taping, then that could be helpful, or some kind of PSA to talk about it, or like kind of after conversation type of, thing that they do on occasion, could be helpful. And then, really, she would have to really walk in that path, right, of that information and how she shares, and really look at how she chooses to present herself in the future. So, I definitely would love to know your thoughts. We talked about several things here in this video, so I want to know just what you were thinking about it. If you are watching this season, it is, like I said, getting ready to be its third part of the reunion, so it's getting ready to wrap up. But if you have enjoyed the season and all that it brought in, anything you want to talk about the season, please leave them down in the comment section. We can conversate about it. And definitely, I would have so appreciate it. So with that, I think that will be about it for this video. And I'm going to bid you adieu, but I do hope that you have a great rest of your day. And I thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, if you are new here and you haven't gotten a chance to subscribe, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become part of the family, be part of the community. I would so love to have you. Definitely give the video a like, as I would so appreciate that as well. And it allows for it to stretch more for more conversation for more people to see, and I would so appreciate that too. And of course, you want to keep your all notification bells on, because I drop many more videos on the platform. And of course, I love to share my thoughts and opinions of things, and I would love to know yours. So with that, again, I'm going to bid you to keep that all notification bell on. I'm not sure if I'm going to drop another video for today, but just in case I do, if you have your bell on, you won't miss it. But definitely take care, be blessed, stay safe. And again, thank you so much for your viewing and listening support. And so with that, bye.